For University of Illinois Extension, I'm Todd Gleason. Beef cattle and hog producers in 7 states could soon have a new packing plant in the area. The owners of the proposed Saline River Farms packing plant say it will be located near the deep southern Illinois town of Creel Springs. That's to the southeast of Marion, near the intersections of Interstates 57 and 24. Brent Clark told me and those gathered at the Dixon Springs research facilities that belong to the U of I that he and his partners had been working on its development since before the pandemic.
We started in about March of 2020 discussing the need in the marketplace and the region for meat processing, protein processing, and the pandemic set in soon thereafter. And it sort of highlighted the need for processing, more processing in our area. And so that was kind of the starting point.
How did you highlight it? What do you mean?
Well, when you're a producer, there were no slots, no time availabilities to have your animals processed at local processors because we're in a part of the state, we're in a region of the country that is very limited on the amount of processing that is available for both cattle and hogs. And so when the pandemic hit, we were already tight in those processing plants, and then it was like people panicked and just filled them up. And we are at a point now, even today, that it takes still about a year to have something, a year out to get an appointment to get something processed.
We're in deep southern Illinois. How many states do you expect to serve this plant?
I think it's going to be about 7 states will come with product livestock to our plant. Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Missouri.
What will be the processing capacity of the plant?
We're going to start out with our first line, and it'll handle 2,800 beef a month and 5,600 hogs a month. That's the first line. The second line basically doubles that capacity, and we'll turn that on once we get rolling.
Why were you at Dixon Springs tonight?
Well, Dixon Springs is like home plate for us. I mean, it's the Southern Illinois local producers, and that's where we're at. We're located in Williamson County, which is in deep southern Illinois. And this would be home plate to start out with these producers getting the first crack at this opportunity.
Again, that was Brent Clark. He's one of the owners of the proposed Saline River Farms processing plant that would be located in Creel Springs, Illinois. That's in the deep southern part of the state. Jeff Beasley is a cattle producer actually from Creel Springs, and he was at the meeting on Wednesday evening. He's also a past president of the Illinois Beef Association. He's not completely convinced this packing plant can compete. I asked him why.
I've sold enough cattle over the years, followed the industry long enough, that I know that the 4 big packers plus all the small, medium-sized packers, they're competing for X number of cattle. So these guys are just going to step into that fray, and they're not going to just be able to go out and cherry pick the cattle they want. They're going to have to get competitive, and my question was, how are you going to be able to match the Tysons, the JBS, et cetera, to buy those cattle and procure those cattle that you need? So I just thought that was a valid question to ask those guys if that's something they've really thought about.
We had that question tonight, and it was an interesting moment because I stepped back to really think about the question when it was asked. And my initial reaction is, well, we're going to be here, we're close by, but you know what it really comes down to is we have to deliver as a company as well.
That's Jeff Diedrich. He's one of the 4 partners in the proposed Saline River Farms packing plant facility.
Yes, proximity is going to be extremely important, but the quality of product that we bring to the table will be very important. The ease of doing business as a company for the local producer, the wholesale customers, the retail customers, and so forth will be paramount. But it's really going to come down to the cost effectiveness and the quality of product that we put out, and we're committed to see that through.
Jeff Diedrich, Brent Clark, and 2 others are working to develop the Saline River Farms packing plant. They say beef cattle and hog producers in a 7-state area should expect it to open about 18 months after construction begins. That has yet to be scheduled. For Illinois Extension, I'm Todd Gleason.